welcome to another episode of Pitch BrandTalk. I'm Simran Sabharwal. I have with me today Gaurav Ramdev. He's the CGMO at Protean eGov Technologies. Now, Protean eGov Technologies was earlier known as NSDL E-Governance Infrastructure Limited, and they rebranded 2 years back to now emerge in their new avatar as Protean eGov Technologies. Now, this company focuses on developing digital public infrastructure and e governance initiatives for various government bodies, national and state in India. And this is also one company which we unknowingly or knowingly have interacted with, be it through their PAN card usage or even when you use your Aadhaar card. This is one company, like I just mentioned, we have knowingly or unknowingly interacted with. So, Gaurav, welcome.
Thank you, Simran. Thank you for giving a very warm introduction about Protean. Thank you, and I will. I know for sure, having interacted with you earlier, I'll have a fabulous time with an interaction with you. Looking forward to the set of questions you have for me, and let's get it started.
Just I want to first start off with the rebranding that you had. Can you tell us why was this taken up and how has this worked out, say 2 years down the line?
Sure. So I think let me हिंदी में कहावत है शुरू से शुरू करते हैं. So I think what we'll do is we'll start from the beginning. The idea about rebranding came around the fact that we had NSDL eGov Infrastructure Limited was doing a lot of products and projects which could not be seen by the user as one axis alone. There were 19 different projects that the organization was doing, and therefore we had to shed our old imagery and bring up a new one which resonated with the vision and mission of the organization and resonated with what the organization stood for in its newest avatar. And therefore the name Protean first came about. Protean means it's a Latin word. It means being multifaceted. And being multifaceted, we wanted to bring together an essence of a multifaceted organization, some total of it being in the category of digital public infrastructure or e-governance, as you put it in the introduction. Now, when we say digital public infrastructure, in very simple consumer terms, we are a population scale technology company. Our mission is pretty clear on social inclusion and financial inclusion of Bharat, and a large part of Bharat resides at a place where we generally don't interact in the metro city. So our idea of the organization is to build population scale technology. So anybody from Jammu Kashmir to Kanyakumari and from Gujarat to Assam can easily use citizen services or e-governance products so that they can fulfill their citizen needs. Now, the idea of rebranding started with this whole, as I said, we were not a one single axis company, but a set of 19 different projects and 19 different products that we had. Protean was the name, and therefore the first step in our rebranding journey, which we took about 2 years back in 2023, was to launch our first campaign about our new brand identity, which was NSDL eGov is now Protean. We launched that campaign with a tagline of change is growth. What we wanted to bring together in that campaign was Protean's perspective, was our perspective of essentially who we are in the new avatar, which is Protean, providing e-governance solutions which are far and wide, which are digital public infrastructure, so digital public infrastructure for a digital India, and highlighting the fact that we drive growth, social inclusion, and financial inclusion to the transformative change in terms of products that we have built for Bharat at large. Right? So that was the idea. That campaign was a good 15-week, 18-week kind of a campaign that we launched in the November of 2023. Today, as we speak, in our rebranding journey, we are taking a one giant leap forward, Simran. Protean is a leader in DPI space. From that time to this time, the things that have changed is that we are now an established leader in DPI space. We have been in this space for 28 years. This space, before it was even coined digital public infrastructure, we have built projects or we have executed projects which are are much ahead of just coinage of this term digital public infrastructure, and our products have scaled to a size today which are operating at the far end, like absolutely to the borderland of India, where people use our services and digital products and services, so that conveniently they can, like you said, a PAN card can be issued, or a pension product can be bought, or any of the eKYC services that banks use, so on and so forth, at every nook and corner of the country. This year's edition of rebuilding or building the new brand from scratch, this year's edition takes forward our effort in the rebranding effort. And this year we are here to tell our story from a consumer point of view. Now let me tell you the problem statement we had, which is part of our brief that we shared with Ogilvy. Our problem statement is that the consumer only touches one facet or one project of Protean at one time. Suppose you are a consumer of PAN, you only are aware of the facet of Protean when dealing with the PAN card issuance. Suppose you are a customer of our pension product, or as we are the CRA for the pension business, you are only seeing the facet of Protean from one perspective, which is the pension perspective, so on and so forth. There are 18 different other perspectives that Protean has. So in the classical way, like you would have seen, it's the classical elephant in a dark room kind of an eyed concept, where you only get to experience or see the things that you can touch and feel at your. But the wholesomeness of Protean was missing. Second, DPI is a jargon, right? It's a technical jargon, digital public infrastructure, which not many consumers understand. So we wanted to. This effort is also to humanize digital public infrastructure for consumers at large, because they knowingly or unknowingly, like you lovely put it, they knowingly or unknowingly use digital public infrastructure in their daily lives to move their life a little forward, a little ahead. Thus, this brief was all about to simplify digital public infrastructure for consumers and make them understand what role DPI plays in their life. And second, to narrate the story of Protean from an emotional lens, from a consumer lens, and tell how it enables how Protean is a humble enabler of the people that it serves, which is the entire 1.45 billion. The story arc that we have taken this year is that of an emotional story arc. We have gone through a journey of a young boy to a retired person, to showcase that Protean's products can be used at any life stage, and they help you move forward, and it is an enabler to the dreams and aspirational of an aspirational Bharat, right? The 1.45 billion aspirational stories today, and Protean is an enabler for all of those 1.45 billion aspirational stories, and is a humble enabler in the journey of what we are doing today. And therefore, our new campaign is also with a new tagline called Impacting Everyone Every Day. That is essentially who we do, what we do, and who we impact. We essentially impact everyone, a large size of population, because of our population scale products, and we do that every day. But we choose to remain very humble, and we choose to remain very, very behind the scenes as the DNA of the organization. This story is a tribute to those dreams and aspirations of India, where we want to play a very simply an enabling role as we move forward. And this campaign around, which is the second chapter in our rebranding journey.
I did manage to see your rebranding, your current campaign, which will be launched which was Apni Kahaani Ki Hero, and as you explained, that was what it is. But what is your communication and marketing plan for this campaign?
Sure. So our communication and marketing plan. Let me take you through a journey of the brief seminar if we have time, and I'll tell you where it all started. We wanted to show a story of our problem statement was unique, right? You have used a digital public infrastructure product or a service, but you don't know whether it is DPI, right? You never get to realize it is DPI. And our effort was to showcase how Protean plays an enabling role in anybody's life. And therefore, the story that we had this time around had to be from not the metro India, but from the larger part of Bharat. that we cater to and that we service because of our goals of social and financial inclusion across the country. So our story was born out of a small town, and the idea of that small town was to have large dreams. The protagonist, to have large dreams from a small town as well. And this story was best suited to scale at a pan India level. Which brings me to the answer to your question. The plan for this program was to go after the larger parts of India, and therefore, in order to do it very effectively, we have chosen to be a digital first rather than an offline first brand creation this time around. We have chosen the route of digital because it gives us sharp, precise targeting of who we want to go after. We are looking at a subset of about 30 million people in India that we want to impact. For the first time, in terms of 30 million, we have shunned away our usual way of segmentation that we used to do in media planning, which means that we used to have geographical sets, we used to have demographic, age-based segmentation, and so on and so forth when we used to plan media plan. For the first time, we are going interest-based segmentation. So anybody who has interest in fintech or finance in India, BFSI in India, or wants to keep up with the India news, has an interest in government affairs. These are some of the interest plans that we are going to go after and serve them our ad set, so to speak, so that we can have interest-based targeting rather than spraying our ad everywhere and not making it relatable or not making it very sharp in our planning. So we have a digital first of execution way, which is supported by again a very sharp plan on outdoor, where we have chosen the financial districts in all of India where our outdoors will go up, so that we can sharply target the financial districts and speak about Protean, because Protean is very large. The power of Protean is through the stakeholder approach, right? Since we are infrastructure, we need fintech partnerships, we need startups, we need the BFSI ecosystem to really come together to deliver this mission that we are on social inclusion as a stakeholder set, right, as an ecosystem together. And therefore, our choice of outdoor is on the BFSI segment, on financial districts, and so on and so forth. Similarly, we have chosen business newspapers to really come out with our print ads. Business newspapers, why? Not only because of the reasons that ecosystem partnerships in fintech are the way to go, and therefore we are looking for partnerships and ecosystems to come together to serve the ultimate agenda of social inclusion. And to simplify the word financial and social inclusion so that I don't remain jargonistic all this time, what I mean by that is the smallest town in India and the person who is not serviceable to have a bank account, to have a digital literacy around payments, to have an ID that they can launch so that they can verify their identity, and to have a data which can provide them with loans, which can provide them with other financial services, and a track record of a bank statement, and so on and so forth. These are some of the things that we are looking for an ecosystem as together to deliver, so that we can enable that last person to fulfill their aspiration. That is social and financial inclusion for us. And therefore, we want the ecosystem. We have taken the ecosystem approach, an interest-based approach in our media planning, and being a digital first program added with offline.
You had mentioned that, till now you're very humble existence where you were all in the background. And now you have taken the step to in the brand building, wherein you're now coming face forward to the consumers. And you
Correct.
also mentioned that you're looking at 30 million and interest based is how you're targeting. So if you
Correct.
can also share some of the key metrics that you're looking with this campaign, which you will say, which you are targeting at.
When you say key metrics, as in the media planning metrics, is what you're looking for?
Yeah, your
Yeah,
metrics, what you're looking for to achieve,
correct.
because you
So,
mentioned 30 million. So,
yeah,
anything
30,
else that
30
you'd
million
like
audience size.
to
Yeah. So
speak about?
let me speak about, okay, so let me first break down the plan, because as a monolithic entity, it doesn't make sense. The plan basically is around advertising plan, which is what you see on YouTube ads and bumper ads and so on and so forth, which will help us deliver our message from the brand. But the rest of the plan is all around content building, right? We have a story to tell. We don't have an ad to show, Simon. That's the big difference. I want to repeat this. We have a story to tell and we don't have an ad to show. So while we will have a plan, which is the BAU plan of delivering ad impressions, but we want to create a full ecosystem of storytelling around Protean for consumers to understand fully what Protean does and what DPI is for the country, what digital public infrastructure is
Sure.
for the country. We're trying to simplify that, both these things down for the consumer. So the rest of the storytelling part are all about new age digital marketing practices. We are starting off with supporting with a lot of influencer activity that you will see, which will help simplify DPI and Protean for the consumer. The choice of influencer comes from how well and more engaged storytelling methods can be rather than just showing an ad. The second is to take the route for younger audiences who have interest in finance. Today, you are seeing 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds open a bank account and start trading and so on and so forth. So, to serve the right kind of messaging for this kind of audience, for a young kind of audience, we are taking the meme marketing route so that we can build relatability around Protean and DPIs and communicate the message to them. So meme marketing is the second route that we have chosen. The third thing that we are doing is we are again leveraging content. Podcasting is the newest content in 2024. It really became a rage. We are using podcasts as one of the methods of storytelling, which means that gives us time and space to speak about our products, pages, what the population scale means, so on and so forth. So we are going to use podcasts in a whole variety of podcasts to really deliver our message. Um, Fourth, we are going to be interest-based programmatic. So we are going to go after programmatic advertising, which will be delivered on your television, which will be delivered on some places of interest, which will be at the right places of interest, so on and so forth. With the approach of programmatic buying, where we see these kind of interested groups as traffic or as people who visit these websites, and we're going to show ads there, and hopefully we can show a lot of relevant content, which we have a lot of content plans around it, so that they are pretty unique and relatable and have a long lasting impression. One of the things that we are trying to stay away from is in the midst of delivering metrics for an organization, right? Sometimes logo is all that matters, and therefore impressions are all that everybody cares about. We have also tried to, in our media planning, try to bring in the concept of quality of impression into the idea. And by quality of impression, I mean the logo as well as the message, which is extremely relevant, right? So that kind of content to be delivered, so that the quality of impression is also high, and we pay a lot of attention to the kind of content that is delivered in these platforms. Going beyond this, we have a lot of meta plans in Facebook and Instagram plans, where we will have a lot of content pieces keep rolling out. So while what you are seeing, Simran, is our anchor piece, which is a 3 minute or 3.5 minute film, which tries to encapsulate all of Protean products and enables the journey of our hero. We have a whole host of content really coming up with Pankaj ji that we have shot, and with this content will act as an uplifter to the fatigue that will come over the 12 weeks of campaign. So we'll keep rolling out new content, freshness, and inject freshness into the entire campaign as we travel in the 12 weeks together. So that looks like our full plan, and we are going to be active for the next 12 to 14 weeks on air.
You mentioned, that you're going to put out continuously content and also that storytelling. So this brings me to Pankaj Tripathi, who
Yeah.
you have collaborated with. So how are you looking? Why Pankaj Tripathi? And how is this association going to continue? Because you said more content films. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing that he is there in a lot more films,
In
right?
all of them. In all of them. So thank you for that question, Simran. It was a very joyful ride, by the way, in bringing this campaign to life. The reason I say that is when on day one, imagine the brief, right? The brief had no celebrity, nothing. It had no even not even a mention of celebrity. In the brief, we were clear that we wanted to tell a story of Bharat. We didn't want to tell a very metro, new age brand, a very shout out loud kind of a story. We were very clear. Our problem statement was what is Protean, to be answering that, and what is DPI. These are the two problem statements that we need to focus on. And we wanted the Bharat story to come in because that is really what we are all about, social and financial inclusion for rest of Bharat rather than the metros alone. In order to bring this to life, the story that was crafted was about a small town small town person who thought larger than life, right? Their dreams and aspirations had no bounds, despite the challenges, despite the everyday challenges. Now, when we were crafting the story, what happened in a lot of brainstorming with Ogilvy, what we came across was that there is one such story in Bollywood that exists, and it is so unique that Pankaj Tripathi himself is from Belsand, and we would have not even known like Belsand as a place in Bihar. He is from Belsand who had big dreams, and here is the boy that we were looking for, or not even looking for actually. Here's the real life story of a boy from Belsand who has seen the epitome of success and is a national award winner. And that's exactly what happened. So when we met with Pankaj Tripathi, he was not only obvious choice, he was literally the face of the story that we had written. And usually brands take the route of writing a story and then sprinkling the celebrity on top of it for added firepower. Um, we went the other way around. We found his story to be so unique and his story to be inspirational and extremely very close to what the story that we wanted to say, that we hired him as our brand ambassador. And not only that, and when we confirmed with him, he has been a Protean customer for I think a several amount of years. And he shared his story on that he is a pension account holder and he has services with Protean. He has taken the services of other consumer products that we deliver, so on and so forth. So it was a match made in heaven, unplanned, but it all led to an amazing meeting of the trifecta of the customer, also our brand ambassador, and also the narrator of the film. So it happened. It happened like that, and a lot of brainstorming sessions it came across. So we starting off with no celebrity because we wanted to tell the story of an ordinary Joe, and to now having the chief narrator of the story of people like him. And good that you asked me why Pankaj. I think as good brand marketers and good brand managers, we did a value to value comparison. The values of Protean as a company, as a brand, versus the values that he brings on board. And we saw a great amount of harmony between the two. When I say harmony, what I mean is he's known for his subtleness, honesty, earthiness, the trust that he brings to the script, that the film will do well or the content piece will do well. Similarly, we stand for the very, very similar values. We build for population scale. We are honest with our work that we do. We are very transparent with with all of our products, pricing, all of it. Since we are a citizen services company, and we want trust to really build with our products, right? So we have been in this business for 28 years. We have partnered with government to operate our businesses. So a lot of values really matched and came together, and it was a very like it was a match made in heaven, as I said, and very harmonious onboarding, and that's why Pankaj Tripathi. So he represents the common man, I think the modern common man. He is a classical example of when dreams are enabled in small towns, big aspirations can come to life. Dreams are bigger than, and Protean continues to play the role of a humble enabler in his life, in reality. And we are now taking it to the screen to show on how Protean products help you move or achieve your aspirations uh, a little bit, moving you further ahead in your journey. So that's how Pankaj Tripathi came together.
As you go into building brand Protein, I'm guessing your marketing budgets has also increased. If you could just give me a sense about what's been the increase over last year and what you anticipate next year, even in percentages. How much
Sure.
has it increased?
First, I think this is a very interesting plug to thank my CEO for supporting our marketing plans and budgets. Second, I think yes. So every year our marketing aspirations are growing bigger and bigger. Last year we had one campaign. This time we, as I said, we have an anchor film, and we have like at least I think 18 more films coming out, so on and so forth. More all digital films coming out. So yes, there has been an increase in our marketing budgets. While I'm not at the liberty to share exact percentages, but it has been to the tune of double-digit growth, percentage growth in terms of our marketing budgets. Number one. Number two, I think we have realized that great content has less fatigue. Over the course of building so much content last year, we built over 600 pieces of content last year. My marketing team did that. And we have realized that having larger, high quality content will last us a lot more. And therefore, investments in great content pieces like this is far too important in today's generation rather than just serving ads on Instagram or Facebook, which deliver impressions only but don't build a brand. So these two things, where we have quality content, we have changed our marketing approach to having quality content. Less is more for us. And the second, from a marketing budget perspective, we have upped the marketing budget on a double-digit percentage, but we have invested behind long-term assets in terms of quality assets rather than just more social media posts or more social media content, which is very, very short-lived.
Sure. I was very curious. Are you a B2B or a B2C brand? And how do you strategize because you're somewhere in both the spaces. So, how
Yes.
do you strategize your communications when you're straddling both the B2B and the B2C business models?
Yeah. So thank you, Simran. I think you're one of I think the only one who has asked me this, what is Protean, and I'll introduce you to three things. Actually, there is a third thing as well. So we are a B2C company, we are a B2B company, and we are a B2G company because we offer government product, as in we have government projects that we run operate, and therefore we offer government services on behalf of the government and citizen services, tightly controlled by the regulator that we serve, right? So we are a consumer company, we are a business company. The way to solve it, and it was quite a challenge for me when I came in, and the way that I have looked at the problem statement, I don't know what the right method to look at it, but the way I have looked at the problem statement, I've looked at it from a human to human perspective. I think when we simplify the problem from human to human, I think we let go of these boundaries of how B2B and how B2C operations operate. At a strategic level, we are going to make content which is going to be human to human because it is served one person at a time. Simran's time line on Instagram and Facebook is her personal timeline. Similarly, somebody else is going to be personal timeline. So we operate at n is equal to 1 in terms of media delivery, and therefore we are trying to make a human to human connection. And therefore, content at a strategic level has to be human to human. At a media and execution level, that is where our specific B2C and B2B thinking caps come on, where the messages that are meant for consumer businesses, for lead generation, for sales, for D2C sales, all of that really operate at the way the BAU B2C operations operate. And at a B2B level, we generate a lot of leads through digital marketing, into search campaigns, and so on and so forth. And that is at an execution level. So simplifying this answer to you, at a strategic level, we think we are a human to human organization. At an execution level, the method of execution on B2C is at scale because we run a D2C operation itself. Our PAN issuance is completely digital, our pension insurance is completely digital, so on and so forth. So we run a D2C operations, and therefore that's part of my role. And we run the B2B lead gen engine for the organization, and that is a very different animal to run. Where we don't depend on such large content, but we run on performance marketing and performance content. to scale the leads up and scale the business up at a D2C level. So
Finally,
strategy and execution. That's how we're segregating.
finally, you wear dual hats. In addition to at Protean, you also are the chairperson of ASSOCHAM National Council, on branding and marketing. And your role is to drive strategic initiatives and foster innovation in branding and marketing. So, if you can just tell us what exactly does your role entail?
Sure. So I'll just correct you a little bit. I'm the co-chair on ASSOCHAM National Branding and Marketing Council. My role is, as you mentioned, I think to drive the marketing community, all the ASSOCHAM members that are there. My specific role in that is to drive or contribute to the community of marketers who are part of ASSOCHAM and work on three things. One is build bridges, which means build more relationships in terms of finding the right kind of communities, building the right kind of communities of marketers in within ASSOCHAM who can drive marketing as a whole in the country. Number one. Number two is to host a series of educational programs or knowledge programs which we can help as a community to deliver or learn and get better at together as a community. So a series of knowledge partnerships. And third is the annual event that we do, which is to celebrate fellow marketers and their campaigns and their marketing efforts and so on and so forth towards the end of the year, which as I speak is getting planned. So by the time it is March, we will have an ASSOCHAM Marketing Council. So these are the three things that are entailed in my role. A lot of execution stuff keeps coming, but I'm just keeping it outside of the conversation right now.
Thank you, Gaurav, for your time. Thank you for
Thank you,
taking the
Simran.
time out.
Thank you. I enjoyed my conversation, Simran. Thank you. They say what you do at the start of the year, usually you repeat that throughout the year. So I enjoyed my conversation. I hope I get to interact with you a lot more over 2025. Wishing you and your audience and our audiences very super to 2025.
Thank you, Gaurav.
Thank you.